As the NFL season reaches the conclusion of Week 4, the power rankings are becoming increasingly intriguing. Frank Schwab, senior writer for Yahoo Sports, provides an in-depth analysis of which teams deserve the top spots, and while it's tempting to focus solely on immediate performance, he also factors in historical success and expectations. At the center of this debate are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings, both sitting at 4-0, but each offering a different case for being the #1 team in the league. On the one hand, the Minnesota Vikings have been the most impressive team on the field thus far. Through 4 games, they boast a flawless record, but it's not just about wins. It's how they've been winning. The Vikings have posted 3 convincing victories against formidable opponents, dismantling the San Francisco 49ers, Houston Texans, and Green Bay Packers. These are no slouches. The 49ers are perennial contenders, the Texans are rapidly improving, and the Packers, even in a rebuild, remain a fierce divisional rival. What's even more impressive is how the Vikings have dominated in every aspect of the game. Their offense, led by quarterback Sam Darnold, has been electric. Darnold, who has rejuvenated his career in Minnesota, is starting to look like a legitimate MVP candidate, a shocking development considering his tumultuous start in the league. Defensively, they've been just as strong, and their point differential of +5.7, an important metric in evaluating a team's overall dominance, is nearly triple that of the Kansas City Chiefs, who sit at +2.0. With this level of performance, one could easily argue that the Vikings have been the best team in the NFL through the first month of the season. However, Schwab reminds readers that NFL rankings don't exist in a vacuum. History and reputation also matter. This is where the Kansas City Chiefs come into the conversation. The Chiefs, under the leadership of Patrick Mahomes and head coach Andy Reid, have become the standard of excellence in the NFL. They are in the midst of what many consider a modern-day dynasty, with multiple Super Bowl appearances and victories over the last few years. Their 4-0 start to the season is another indication that they aren't slowing down anytime soon. While the Chiefs' victories may not have been as dominant as the Vikings, they have also played a tough schedule, and more importantly, they've shown an ability to win in different ways. Even when they're not at their best, they manage to pull out victories, a trait that is the hallmark of championship teams. That, combined with their recent history of success, is why Schwab ultimately places the Chiefs back at #1 in his Week 4 power rankings. Despite Minnesota's current edge in terms of on-field dominance, the Chiefs' dynasty status cannot be overlooked. Their ability to remain the team to beat year after year holds significant weight in the rankings. The Vikings, while undoubtedly impressive, still have more to prove on the big stage before they can dethrone a team like Kansas City. In Schwab's view, the Vikings may be the best team based on pure performance so far, but until they demonstrate consistency over a longer period and against the league's elite, they remain just a step behind the reigning champions in the power rankings. Thus, heading into Week 5, Kansas City sits at the top, with Minnesota poised to continue their climb. The rest of the NFL will be watching closely to see if the Vikings can sustain their early season success and challenge the Chiefs for supremacy as the season progresses. This ranking also highlights an interesting subplot: Sam Darnold's resurgence. Written off by many during his previous stints in the NFL, Darnold's emergence as a potential MVP candidate is one of the season's biggest surprises. If his current level of play continues, it could be the final piece that propels the Vikings from regular season stars to legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, with Mahomes leading the charge, continue to look like the team to beat as they march toward yet another deep playoff run.